Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Anna Maggie and I am so excited to film a get ready with you. We are going to talk about life and trusting the process while I show you how to do this like kind of retro looking purpley blue smoky eye. Now that I'm looking at it, looks very much like a hydrangea. I'm going to go with that, but yeah, you can do something like this for Mother's Day. I think it's super fun. But it's also just a fun springy look. Let me know your thoughts and let's get into it. Okay, so I'm just in my dressing gown with my little headband. I got a little bear one, it's so cute. And I've already put on my moisturizer and sunscreen. So don't forget the sunscreen. We are getting into that time of year. I'm going to do my eyes first because the colors are pretty bright. Use these two palettes. This one is the Party Girl palette by Cara Beauty, and this one is In a Daze by ColourPop. I'm going to put on a eye primer. I really like this one just by Ulta. Yeah. It's matte and skin colored. So we are going on week 3 of being unemployed, and it's definitely just a season to stay home and kind of feel stretched in a way, because I'm also going to use the Girls Just Want to Have Sun by Cara Beauty as well. I'm going to go into warm cocoa color. Definitely feels like a stretching to me. One of the things that I know God is stretching me on is the way that I spend and those habits that I created in the last, couple of years. I received a verse that says, when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. James 4:3. And that resonated with me so much because I feel like that's the case a lot of times when I asked, for more orders and have sales and stuff, it was definitely with wrong motives, because in those, that time, I definitely spent on things that I shouldn't have. I'm gonna use these two. This one is the Kin Jumbo Eye Pencil, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Multi-Stick in Lavender Bliss. So we'll probably do purple and then blue, I think. That blue is really bright, so we'll see if I end up using it, but I do like to use a base color. So just putting this over. And yeah, I had felt for a while that was one of the things that God was calling me to check on. But of course, like, it's something that you don't want to listen to, you don't want to pay attention to. And I honestly was just spending, I don't want to say to spend, but honestly, to spend. Okay, I'm going to go into the Party Girl palette, and I'm going to go into this purple color right here. It's like a lavender color. And just placing that right over that purple. I could tell God was speaking to me about that for a while, but I just didn't want to listen because I justified it in some way mentally, but I also just, the spending that I was doing was covering what I really needed to focus on, which was my home, and your home is a representation of yourself. Like your temple is who you are, like your inner being, and your home is a physical representation of that. And I had just been ignoring my literal home, but also my temple. I'm going to go now into New Days. Now looking back, I am obviously like, okay, yeah, God was calling me to work on that, to do better. Okay, yes. That's pretty, but it doesn't have a base, so Okay, that is pretty, but where's the blue? Some of the things that I neglected in my home were like deep cleaning, storage, things, you know, small things breaking here and there. You know, home is a lot of maintenance, but also so is like your body. And I had so many little things in, you know, body wise that I wanted to ignore. I'm gonna go into Got Gyms down here at the bottom. I don't know if I've ever used this one. I'm gonna put it back here. Okay, there's the blue. There we go. Well, we're still trusting the process here. I don't know how this is gonna end up looking. Just some little things for physically. I had gotten like something had smashed my toe, and then that turned into like this spot, and I was like, what the heck is that? Go get a medical pedicure, and the lady was like, oh wait, this is a fungal infection. And I was like, what the heck? I had no idea. She's like, yeah. She's like, and if you let that go, you would have lost your, you know, your nail. And I just had no idea. And little things like that, like I had a UTI that I didn't realize. Lots of little things like that where I was like, man, I have not been paying attention to myself. I've just been grinding so hard, you know, and just not focusing on my home, myself, anything. I'm going into daydreaming right here, and I definitely don't like that. But again, when you're just heads down working and grinding, you tend to do things like that, you know? That color is so pretty. I know God was just like doing it for my good, you know, in terms of like me making just right and me just correcting that part of my life. And it is hard, guys. Like I go into Amazon, like I find myself scrolling, and then I scroll Amazon. Who scrolls Amazon? Like I'll sit there and scroll like shopping websites, and I'm like, and I put things in the cart for no reason. I'm gonna go now into Indiegogo just with my finger and just put that in the center. Kind of over that other. So it's kind of like a deep purple, a lavender, and then that lilac-y color. I don't know what happens to the blue, but it's okay. I might go into, no, not that. I might go into this one now and put it just in the, maybe I'll, yeah, that's just to add some of that blue. I notice it now that I, again, would just scroll these websites and stuff and mindlessly puts things in the cart and then sign up for all kind of things. And then another thing that I did was the Apple Pay and like putting your credit card already on your phone. With that feature, I didn't even realize I was buying things until it would come and I was like, oh, I did buy that, or I did sign up for that and I had no idea. Yeah, now I'm gonna go into the Even Better Hydrating and Repairing Makeup by Clinique. So I know that shopping, it was a reason. There was a reason why I was shopping like that, and it was definitely to ease the want of wanting a baby and not having a baby. That was, obviously before I got pregnant. But then when you get your promise, sometimes the habits don't go away, and I had started carrying that into the other side of my promise, spending and the shopping and stuff. So I was like, wait a minute, I thought that I didn't want to do this, or I thought that I had checked this and yada yada, but no, because what it was a habit that I needed to break, but also I needed to see why I was shopping. Definitely work on that within myself. I'm going to use the Kosas Revealer Concealer. It's got some yellow to it. So yeah, there's a lot of learning that goes, but what I didn't want was for those habits to carry on. And when life gets harder with the baby and stuff, I didn't want to turn to that addiction, which I'm definitely going to call it what it is and not sugarcoat it. It sounds fun, like a shopping addiction. Like one of my favorite movies and whole book series is the Shopaholic series. Looking at it, you could say like it's cute, it's glamorized, it's not that bad, it's just clothes, it's just stuff, but it definitely can put you in a hole financially, but also like it's an addiction to you're going to that to avoid something else. And for me, I was going to that to avoid the feelings that I was having for, not getting pregnant. And then afterward, the traumatic birth experience that I had. And then after that, it just continues, So everything is definitely a little life lesson and learning. I'm going to go now into the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder Filter. The eyes are pretty much done. Let me know your thoughts, but I'm going to go into this powder. So God, being a good father, will course correct, and I'm here and listening now, and I'm glad that I do now have a listening ear. I'm going to use the Cheek Thrills Tulum Trip by Morphe, and I'm just going to use the powder side. Definitely now starting to do that inner work that I was trying to avoid, going through those hard feelings and that quote unquote trauma. Because what will happen is if you leave it unchecked, like I said, when things do get harder with Max and just in life, you'll go to that and in a more extreme level, I do like that bronzer, and I'm not going to go into the one that I recently bought. This is more of a summer like orangey color. It's a little too dark for me right now, but I am going to go into the Beach Bonfire color. I really like how peach looks with like lilac and lavender. Now I need to fill it in the brows. I'm going to use this flower nose. If you find that you are going to something to avoid something else, and shopping is just one of it. Obviously, there are other addictions, but also like food is an addiction. Obviously, drugs and alcohol, but there are other things too, like working out. A lot of people don't consider that bad because it's good for you, but there's just extreme versions of it all, I think too, like being overly organized, it's like something that you want to control. For the lips, peachy color maybe. All right. Okay, so we are back. I took a little break. My son took a nap and he sleeps there, so I had to pause the video really quick, but it's okay. I didn't do anything with the face, stayed right there. It's been like an hour, so face looks pretty good. I always like to see what we look like an hour later. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my eyes using the Il Maquillage. This is just a black liner. It's in Black Card. It's a little bit drying out, and I am going to do the Millennial Wing. There we go. the lash primer to prep the eyes because I am using a tubing mascara. Trusting the process in life, I should say. Just trusting the process and letting God just really make a pearl necklace of my life. That analogy does not come from me. That comes from Lisa Marie. She's Paper and Glam here on YouTube. There, now I have my mic on. Sorry about it. She had this beautiful analogy of the pearl necklace, and she says that each pearl is a different challenge or area where God was obviously pressing and, you know, using pressure to create this beautiful pearl. And I love that ever since then, and I love wearing pearl necklaces because of that. And then my son's birth month is June, and that's the birth certificate. The birthstone that month is a pearl, and that is just so representative of motherhood with me right now. There's so much pressure with motherhood, but you get a beautiful pearl out of it, and that's what I have felt like every step of the way in this motherhood journey. I love that analogy. I love that his birthstone is a pearl, and I buy everything, like I'm always wearing pearls. I just love that. It's just a constant reminder that pressure equals pearls. That's it for the eyes. I still really like the lipstick. It's the Revlon Pearl in Apricot Fantasy. It's like a super light lipstick. I'm a fan of lips like this, like super, like it looks very retro 60s, and I do like it. So that's where we're at with that, with the whole look, I think. All right, I'm still working the blowout for my birthday, and so yeah, we're just leaving that down. My hair is really long, so I don't know if I'm going to cut it. I think I'm going to let it grow a little bit longer for the summer, and then I might cut it later on, but I'm good with it right now. Let me go ahead and change for the day. Thank you again so much for watching. I do hope that these videos resonate with you, and if you are kind of feeling what I'm feeling, let me know. Let's, create this community together and really grow and be there for each other. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat with you soon.